this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to add peyote bead weaving to a channel bead and finish it with a nice leather necklace. So you can see the piece that we're going to be making here today. Now this, I used the gold Nunn design channel bead and some Miyuki delicas, and I have that nice little leather, and we're also going to finish it off with those leather crimps and a nice magnetic clasp. So let's start by how we add the peyote bead weaving to this channel bead. Now this particular channel bead will give you 8 by 17 beads. So that's the strip that I have right here for you. Now, one of the things I'll say is that you can use glue if you like. So if you kind of look here, you can see that if I hold the ends, it will rotate a little bit. It's nice and tight. However, if you wanted to create some sort of a pattern, you can do that, but also you can add glue if you like. However, that peyote bead weaving is not going to be sliding off or anything, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay, so because this is a nice even count, we can just zip it up together. So you just lay your channel bead in there, and as we bring those two ends together, they're going to kind of create little teeth. So let me bring it up close to the camera here. Actually, I'm going to rotate it so I start from the bottom, because I have my needle attached to this end here. And the great thing about this is, like I said, you can create a pattern, but you don't have to, and it doesn't take very many beads. So this is a great thing to do if you have just little bits and bobs of beads left over. Okay, so I'm coming out of this bead here at the bottom. So what I need to do is kind of swing over as though I'm going to be adding another row, but I'm going to actually add this row as my up beads. So I'm going through just that one there on the end, pushing my needle through and coming up, and you're going to already start to see it kind of come together there. And then, as though I was continuing my row, I'm going to go through this bead right here. There we go. So you can see the bead I'm going through. So again, you're just kind of zigzagging and you're zipping up that peyote. So you're just going through the next bead on the other side, and you're just alternating. You're just going back and forth. There we go. And another one. And I think it's really fun to be able to do little tiny components like this. You could actually put this on a chain as well. Like I said, I'm going to do it on the leather here today. Oops, I'm going to make sure we get that tail out of there from our other side. So I'm just going to bring that down and kind of hold that out of the way. But you can just see that it's coming together, so you won't actually see any seam. So if you are creating a pattern, again, it's 8 by 17. So we can just create it that way. All right, so now we're getting really tight here towards the end. Just zip, 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 zip. All right, so now what we want to do is we want to come around. So you can see I flipped the bead around. So this is where my tail was coming out the other side there. Let me just make sure we're in focus. There we go. And now I can come around on this side and kind of do the same thing where I just zip those last couple together. Now what I'm going to do is just go through a couple more of those beads, remembering to not create any thread bridges. So just keep working with the little stairs, the little bricks, and they're, you know, so just don't go all the way across your bead weaving. Just go one at a time. And then I'm going to go down through, and all I'm doing here is I'm just getting to a place where I can tie off this thread, and then I'm just going to do the same on the other side. There we go. So now I'm just going to go down into my bead weaving, catch a little thread bridge. You can see my needle's caught there underneath. And I'm just going to come in and do a nice little knot. And weave through one more bead there. And then I can just come in. You can use a thread zap or you can use snips here. And all I need to do now is come to the other side. And repeat that process. But on this side, since we're all zipped up, all I really need to do is just tie off this little tail. Now you could do this in the beginning, you could tie off your tail. I like to just kind of make sure that it's woven through. And you can see that I'm using somewhat dark seed beads on this one, that kind of dark grape purple. If you are using lighter seed beads, you can use the crystal fireline. So if that is gonna work better with your style. And also, oops, you can see it moving around. What I love about this channel bead is that this is a great opportunity to use some of those transparent beads that we don't often use, mostly because, you know, you're going to see that thread through there. But on the silver and especially the gold seed beads, or excuse me, channel beads, what's really nice is you're going to get that silver coming through. So you're actually going to get a really nice tone. So it's a good opportunity to utilize those if that's what you're into. All right. So now let's go ahead and we're going to take our little leather piece here and go ahead and slide on your bead, let it fall to the center. It's going to kind of move around there. You can always get stopper beads if you don't like that style, but we are going to continue here and we're going to add on our little leather crimps. Now these are little crimp beads here, but they have a little loop to the end and you can see that center channel there. That's what we're going to be crimping. So let's go ahead and slide that on. And we're going to come in with our really fine chain nose pliers here. These are actually my Xuron 4-in-1 crimping pliers, but they have the smallest little nose here, so I thought it would be really good. So what you want to see is, so you see how that leather is poking up through the top? What we want to do is get it flush there so we don't actually see that leather. And then give it a nice good squeeze. You might need to kind of move your pliers around, give it a couple little squeezes there, right in that center channel. And then we just do a little test. Oh, hey, that's actually pretty good. All right, so let's move to the other side here. We're just going to repeat that process. So again, making sure that leather is not poking up through the top. Come in with your chain nose pliers there. And squeeze, 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 squeeze. And I'm just going to kind of flip mine over because I want to make sure I get this side really, really good. There we go, because I don't want to lose my bead. Okay, give it a nice tug, and we are good to go. So finally, the last and easiest part here is we are just going to open up a couple little jump rings. Now I'm going to use a magnetic clasp for mine. You can always use a lobster clasp if you like, or any other type of clasp. This is a great little thing to use if you want to do like a multi-strand. So like I said, you could do this with chain as well. And for that, if you wanted to, you could do a multi-strand piece, which is really fun. I like them. All right, so here we go. Last little jump ring, squeezing that on. Perfect. And we want to make sure we have that nice good closure. And here's an extra little tip, guys. If you are doing anything with a magnetic clasp, don't just yank it from here to open it. Go ahead and take these two little pieces and slide them apart. That will preserve the life of your magnetic clasp and not put any undue strain on your other piece. So I pre-cut mine because I wanted to have a nice small necklace, but you can see you can also do this as a bracelet as well. You can do it as a choker, which is what I have over here. It's a nice thin one. So it's a lot of fun little options. You can actually stack them up. I thought about doing several more, but I had to restrain myself. So I just wanted to show you this basic technique and then let your creative juices run wild. All right, thanks so much for watching, you guys. You can get all of these supplies and see even more tutorial videos by heading over to Beadaholique.com. And if you're new to our YouTube channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button below to get all the latest from Beadaholique.